Hi everyone, it's Clinton from Home Drafting and Design here on site at 27 Simcoe Street talking about the farmers market. Hey Rob, how's it going?
Hey,
good to see you. We're doing fist bumps today. There we go. Right on.
Afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Excellent. Perfect timing. I got a quick question for you.
I love it. Okay, what you got for me?
So originally the point load was supposed to be on the end,
Yes.
but because we don't have a live load up there, it's just for a few light displays.
Yep.
Just wondering if I could push my point load back to here and then have a 20-inch wall.
Gotcha. So originally this space was all going to be open. So this is where they're planning on putting the reception desk now,
Yep.
right? Okay, so reception desk is going in here. They're basically trying to create a little bit of an overhang, I guess, over top of what's here.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the great thing about this, like you said, we're not really carrying any weight up there other than displays. It's not like the rest of the mezzanine that's being used for floor system where we have to meet 100 PSI. So to do this little bit of an overhang, as long as we're not exceeding 18 inches, should be perfectly acceptable because we're on 2 LVLs. We're only carrying 3 joists, so that shouldn't be a problem. So you're gonna put your point load here, where the wall originally was gonna come right in here. It's gonna basically shift over. That'll be the point load there, and then the wall end here. Yeah.
And that'll allow me to get my electrical in a fixed spot because we never know if the desk is gonna move or not.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I don't see any problem with that. That should be a pretty easy switch. I mean, obviously, if they want to see something on the plan, we can do that. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Other from that, everything's going fantastic.
Yeah. So I just want to walk through a couple of things here too that I haven't got to see yet. So I see what you've done here with the LVL. I know this was a little tricky because we were working with 9.5 LVLs and everything else is 7.25. But it looks like it's turned out pretty nice. So the intent here, you're going to be putting down some sort of post in here to just kind of catch this a little bit?
Yep, still calls for a point load there, but because we actually shrunk this a little bit, I just utilized what I had and just ran the LVL back in.
Sweet, that looks awesome. No, this is really coming together. All right, well, I'm just going to take a quick walk around and see if there's anything else that I see, but thanks, Rob, appreciate it, man.
All right,
It's
thanks,
awesome.
Clinton.
Unlike a regular residential project, commercial projects always have a few nuances to it, and especially when we're talking about an old building like this. So this old building used to be the Royal Bank, and the exterior walls are actually made of clay tile, which makes it very difficult for us to support off of. So when we were building this mezzanine, we obviously have our front posts here, built just sort of like a deck, where you've got a post and beam system and your floor carriage over top, bolted down to the floor, and then to make up the difference when they had to level the post, they filled it with non-shrink grout. Now, usually when you're building a deck or floor system, what would you do next? You tie it into the wall over here. But because this wall is that clay brick, no engineer wanted to sign off on us being able to tie to it. So what do we do instead? Well, we decided, let's throw posts right up beside the foundation wall. Now this gets a little tricky because point loads are supposed to go straight through to whatever footing it's sitting on. So these ones, which you'll see in the basement, are actually located on other posts that then go straight down to a new footing or onto an existing foundation wall. These interior or exterior ones, right by the wall, can't do that. The foundation wall is actually set in from this block. It's set in probably about another 4 or 5 inches. So there is nothing directly beneath this. So how do we solve that? Well, I'm going to show you. Hey Rob, quick question for you, man. I'm just down here in the basement and taking a look. Did they not install the brackets against the wall? Okay. So we're down here in the basement at 27 Simcoe, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that we've supported this floor system, because obviously with the mezzanine up above, we need to have something that holds that support all the way down. So this is the conventional way, probably what most people have seen. We have a steel post running right down to a new footing that's on the ground. It's been bolted down here because we have an 8-inch concrete floor for our ceiling. We've bolted up through that floor as well too. So this is completely secure. It's not going to go anywhere, and it's sitting on a brand new footing that's designed for carrying 100 PSI. A little bit more than what you get with your residential, but because it's commercial, that's what we have to do. So this was the probably most involved process and probably the most conventional way. The second way that we dealt with getting support was using what was already here in the basement. Now this makes it a lot easier. In this basement, because there's been so many different foundations, This wall is actually 20 inches thick of concrete. Huge wall, huge footing, which gives us a lot of support. So in this application, when posts came down onto these walls, we were able to do a proper support without having to go to putting anything here in the basement to support it. We literally bolted to the concrete floor that's up above us, and that was sitting directly on top of our support. The way that we did the most unconventional support, which was on the exterior walls, is over here. So, not your typical way of doing things. We have a bracket that's in here. This bracket is actually sitting underneath the post up above. So as you can see, the wall is actually set in a little bit from what is upstairs. So this bracket that's in here, the post up above is sitting just a little bit off center of it. Now the advantage we have here is it's 8 inches of concrete. So even though the post isn't sitting 100% right on this bracket, because we're only carrying 100 PSI, and because we have 8 inches of concrete here, it transfers the load down through into this bracket, and then this bracket has again been secured to a 20-inch thick foundation wall. So by doing this, we were able to transfer the load up above without actually having to secure into the clay block up above, which would have been a nightmare and probably would have just damaged the wall. Thanks to Brock Hedge Investment for the opportunity for us to come out here and discuss this today. Obviously, if you have any questions about this project, feel free in the comments below to leave those questions, and we'll be glad to try and get back to you. Make sure you subscribe, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.